Dark greetings, I am Lord Freakzilla, and this is Gothic Sagas. Here we explore deep into the shadows of reality, where the strange, the creepy, and the tragic collide. So hit that subscribe button, and together, let's venture into the darkness, where shadows dance and secrets lurk.
In August of 2025, a YouTuber named Thomas uploaded a video titled "The Day We Almost Died in an Abandoned School" to his channel TP Urbex. His content focused on urban exploration, documenting his visits to abandoned buildings and forgotten locations across North America. In this video, Thomas and a friend traveled to Gary, Indiana to explore an abandoned property known as Dunbar Middle School. From the moment they stepped inside, it was clear the building had been deteriorating for years. The walls were cracked and peeling, sections of the ceiling had collapsed, and dangerous materials like black mold and asbestos were visibly present throughout parts of the structure. But something didn't quite make sense. While much of the school was in severe despair, certain areas appeared strangely intact. Some rooms still had working power, and electronic devices remained functional. These sections looked maintained, as if someone had been there recently, or never truly left. Despite the unsettling contrast, the two continued their exploration. They carefully moved through the hallways, checking rooms and scanning their surroundings, alert for any signs that someone else might be inside. At first, everything remained quiet. No voices, no movement. Eventually, they entered one of the locker rooms. What they found inside was unexpected. The room was still filled with football equipment. Helmets, shoulder pads, and gear sat untouched, as though the team had simply vanished one day and never returned. But while they were examining the room, they suddenly heard something, and within moments, their exploration turned into a confrontation.
Helmets up here. This is one of the coolest locker rooms I've ever seen. I've never seen so much stuff left behind. You want to tell me? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, it sounds like cool. It's fine, don't run, bro. We're fine. Oh, shit, bro. It's fine. Here. Go this way. Yo! Hello?
Man, just grab the property, man.
Oh, we're getting out of here right now. I'm sorry.
I'm the owner.
Okay, hey, we're getting out of here. We were just taking some pictures, bro.
Oh, man, you can't do that.
I'm sorry. We just saw a window.
Yo, Dre.
Hey, I'm sorry. Please. Bro, please, bro, please.
Chill out.
We'll leave right here. I'm so sorry, bro.
Stop doing no thing.
We were just taking some pictures, man.
Dre!
Please, I'm so sorry, sir.
Dre, I get it.
I'm so sorry.
Dre!
No, we weren't looking for anyone, man.
What am I telling you, bro?
I'm sorry.
Tell all y'all friends I'm coming here.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, for sure.
I'm the owner.
For sure, bro. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Yo, they're staring at us, bro. Let's go. I don't care. I'm scared.
As they followed the noise, Thomas and his friends suddenly came face to face with the source. They weren't alone. Standing inside the building were several individuals, including the property owner himself. The confrontation escalated almost immediately. One of the men began moving toward them aggressively, gripping a metal pipe in his hand. The threat was unmistakable. His posture, his tone, and the weapon that he carried made it clear this situation could turn violent at any moment. Thomas and his friend immediately began apologizing, explaining they meant no harm. They told them they were only there taking photos and would leave right away. But the man with the pipe continued advancing, ignoring the pleas. For a moment, it seemed like the situation was about to spiral completely out of control. Fortunately, the property owner intervened, shouting at the man and ordering him to stand down. His voice cut through the tension, and slowly, the aggression began to fade. The explorers didn't hesitate. They backed away and exited the building as quickly as possible, putting distance between themselves and the individuals inside. They were shaken but unharmed. What started as a simple exploration had nearly turned into something far more dangerous.
I don't care. I'm scared. Bro, I'm actually so shook right now.
We almost got our ass booked in there, bro.
Bro, he was holding a f***ing metal rod. Dude, I thought he was gonna me, bro. I was begging for my life, dog. I'm getting out of it. Oh my gosh, I don't know what that was.
I am not hanging around to find out because that scared the absolute crap out of me. I'm going to get back to the car.
This footage was uploaded in October of 2024 by a YouTuber named Colin, known online as the Bearded Explorer. His channel is dedicated to urban exploration, documenting his journeys into forgotten buildings and abandoned locations scattered across the UK. But this particular location carried a far more unsettling reputation. The house he set out to explore sat along in the middle of a cemetery, surrounded by aging graves and silence. According to Colin, the property once belonged to a former classmate of his, named Lauren. During the time her family lived there, they began experiencing things they couldn't explain. Strange noises echoed through the house at night, and Lauren herself claimed to see shadowy figures standing at the foot of her bed. Eventually, the family moved out. No one else ever moved in. The house was abandoned, and its reputation left to grow. Despite the warnings, Colin decided to investigate the property alone, arriving under the cover of darkness. He made his way through the cemetery and approached the deteriorating structure. Finding no accessible entrance, he squeezed through a small window and climbed inside. The interior was in severe decay. Sections of the ceiling sagged overhead, and the walls were crumbling from years of neglect. The house felt unstable, as if time itself had hollowed it out from within. Still, Colin pressed forward, moving cautiously from room to room. But only minutes into his exploration, he heard something that made him freeze. Footsteps, coming from somewhere above him, and in that moment, their exploration took a terrifying turn.
Okay, let's go through the hallway. We've got the main door just there. Okay, let's go in here. There's always a creepy chair. In a room you go in, there's always a creepy chair. Oh, look at the door over there. That's cool. That's really cool. It's like a chapel sort of design door, you know, like a pointy one. What on earth is that? Oh my God, I've just got the biggest, like the goosebumps have gone all up the back of my legs and all on my arms. That's horrible. What was that? I don't know if you heard that, but that sounded like a tap, tap, tap. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Honestly, the goosebumps in here are horrible. These doors are lovely. Look how thick they are. Oh God, what the f*** is that? That actually sounded like there was someone upstairs. Hello? Okay, that was horrible. That actually sounded like there was somebody walking around upstairs. This is terrifying now. Let's go and have a look. Oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. Hello? This one's empty. See outside, there's a road out there. It's very, very dark out there tonight. It's so creepy here, honestly, it's horrible. Okay, let's that mirror, I don't like that mirror at all. That is horrible.
After hearing the footsteps, Colin immediately called out, hoping for some kind of response. When none came, he cautiously made his way upstairs to investigate. But when he reached the upper level, there was nothing there. No movement, no person, no explanation. At least nothing he noticed at the time. It wasn't until later, after he uploaded the video, that viewers began pointing out disturbing details Colin had completely missed. In one moment, a pair of blue gloves had been seen resting on top of a cardboard box in the hallway. But shortly afterward, the same gloves were suddenly lying on the floor beside it. Colin never touched them. He never acknowledged them. Yet somehow they had moved. Even more unsettling was what viewers noticed near the staircase. As Colin approached the stairs, a tennis ball sat clearly visible on the edge of one of the steps. But after he briefly entered another room and returned, the tennis ball was no longer in the same place. It had shifted several feet away, resting in a completely different position. Colin remained unaware of these changes as they were happening. Instead, he stayed focused on the sound of footsteps, continuing his search for whoever or whatever might be inside with him. But as he descended back toward the lower level, he was about to encounter something far more direct. Something that wasn't content to remain hidden.
Honestly, guys, I'm going to try and get my arm out. The goosebumps, you can't see. The goosebumps on my arms and my legs at the moment is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Oh, we've got another room down here, haven't we? Hello? God, I hate it. You think you can hear something. Oh no. there's a ladder. But that's too low to go in there. There's another loft space there. Oh, I can't go out there. You can see the old flint wall up there. Look, that's really cool. Wow. Okay, well, I think this is the last room. I think it's like a cupboard or something. Oh, no, it's the bathroom.
As Colin continued searching the lower floor, he approached the bathroom and slowly opened the door. What happened next sent him into immediate panic. From behind the shower curtain, someone or something suddenly forced it aside. The movement was sudden, aggressive, intentional. Colin didn't stay to find out what was behind it. Overcome with fear, he ran out of the house, through the cemetery and back to his car, desperate to put distance between himself and whatever he had just encountered. To this day, it remains unknown what was hiding inside that bathroom. There was no confirmation of another person inside the house, no explanation for the footsteps, and no answer for how objects like the gloves and the tennis ball appeared to move on their own. It's possible someone had been hiding inside the abandoned home the entire time, or perhaps there was something that was sharing the darkness with him. But because Colin fled before uncovering the truth, whatever was waiting behind that curtain remains a mystery, and the abandoned house in the cemetery remains just as silent as ever. In March of 2021, a paranormal investigator named Dennis uploaded a video titled Real Poltergeist Activity Caught on Camera to his YouTube channel, Dark Ghost Paranormal. His channel focuses entirely on investigating allegedly haunted locations, where he documents his experiences exploring abandoned buildings across Europe. In this particular investigation, Dennis traveled to a remote area of Russia to explore a house long rumored to be haunted. From the moment he stepped inside, the atmosphere felt wrong. The air was heavy and still, and the silence carried an unnatural tension that immediately put him on edge. Despite the uneasy feeling, Dennis continued forward, determined to document whatever he might encounter. To ensure nothing went unnoticed, he began setting up multiple cameras throughout the house, positioning them in different rooms to capture any unusual activity. But even before finishing his setup, Dennis heard something disturbing. Strange noises. They were faint but unmistakable, and they were coming from the attic. Driven by curiosity and caution, he began moving toward the source of the sound. But as he approached the room, he had no idea he was about to witness something he couldn't explain.
Я слышал шумы в той комнате. Вот, и на чердаке. Они, в общем, везде здесь. Уже несколько раз включал свет там. Шумы были. Сейчас шум в первой комнате. Будто бы что-то тащит. Можно еще посмотреть. Опа.
When Dennis first heard the noise, he froze. He stood completely still, listening carefully, trying to determine whether what he heard was real or just his imagination. Slowly he entered the room, and that's when he saw it. A wooden drawer, which had previously been part of the cabinet, was now sitting several feet away from where it should have been. It hadn't simply fallen, it had moved. Dennis hadn't touched it. There was no one else inside the house, yet somehow the drawer had shifted position entirely on its own. He remained in the room, studying the scene, trying to understand what could have caused it. But before he could find an answer, something else happened, something far more dangerous.
Друзья, я сейчас просто в реальном шоке. Еще чуть-чуть бы, если бы я не услышал скрежет, меня бы сейчас реально придавило этим шкафом. У меня просто нет слов, это просто пипец.
Without warning, a large cabinet positioned behind Dennis suddenly toppled over. It crashed to the floor with violent force, landing only a few feet away from him. Had he been standing just slightly closer, it could have struck him directly. Dennis stood frozen in shock. There was no visible reason for the cabinet to fall. It hadn't been touched. There was no vibration, no movement, and no one else present. Shaken by the incident, Dennis quickly left the room and retreated to another part of the house, trying to calm himself and process what had just occurred. After several minutes, he cautiously returned, but what he found made even less sense. The cabinet and the drawer had somehow returned to their original positions, as if nothing had ever happened. Dennis was left speechless, unable to explain what he was witnessing. He continued exploring the house, though the tension never left him. Eventually exhausted both physically and mentally, he decided to rest for a short time, but even that wouldn't bring him peace.
Я немножко придремал. Не знаю, сколько это длилось. И я почувствовал резкий холод. Будто бы холодный ветер, не знаю, тут подул. И вот смотрите, что я еще нашел. Заметил, вернее.
While Dennis slept, his camera continued recording. Soft tapping noises echoed faintly through the building. Then suddenly, a loud explosion shattered the silence. Dennis jolted awake instantly. Disoriented and alarmed, he rushed to find the source of the noise. What he discovered only deepened the mystery. The fuse box had blown apart. There was no clear cause, no visible trigger. It had simply exploded on its own. By this point, Dennis was overwhelmed. The moving furniture, the fallen cabinet, the sounds, and now the explosion. None of it made sense. Despite everything, he remained inside for a short time longer, continuing his investigation, but nothing else happened. Eventually, he decided it was time to leave. To this day, there's no confirmed explanation for what Dennis experienced inside that house. Whether it was structural instability, an elaborate hoax, or something truly paranormal remains unknown. But one thing is for certain, that night, Dennis was not alone in that house, and whatever was there made sure he knew it.
And that wraps up this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so we can keep bringing you more creepy, bizarre, and haunting tales. Check out the links below to dive deeper. And if you have your own creepy encounter, tell us in the comments. We might feature it in a future video. Until next time, Sleep tight.